I'm inspired by, I would say, observation, experience, and imagination. And I know it's too vague, but if I can say life, I'm definitely an observer, and I love watching people. And I particularly love watching people who are listening. Not people who are talking, because they always know that the attention is on them. But I love to watch people who don't know they're being watched, and I think that gives away so much about who they are, their reactions, their expressions. And I've done that since I was a child. I used to annoy my sister when she was watching TV. I'd realise I was watching her because I'm watching her for the reaction. So I do that a lot when just in general life. So it's just from observing everybody around me and absorbing it all, and then somehow it just seeps its way onto the page. So life. I always come up with the idea first for a story. It's always the premise, and then I try to figure out what kind of character would find themselves in that position. So, and the best moment really is that adrenaline that you get from getting an idea. That moment when you go, oh, and then you try to figure out, has anyone written it before? So once you realise that no one has written that idea, I really try to figure out what kind of person would find themselves in that position. And then the character feeds the story, and then the story feeds the character, and then it goes that way. And it's always been the way that I've written. I'm an old-fashioned writer. I really like to write pen on paper, and I love the feel of writing longhand. I love the creative flow of pen on paper. So I'll write a chapter and then I type the chapter afterwards, and I'll edit as I transcribe. But I just love the whole, I love buying notebooks and pens. I use Tipp-Ex if I make a mistake, and it's something kind of, there's a lovely flow about it. It feels a lot more visual, because I am a very visual writer. I write what I see in my head, and if I'm writing a scene, I am sitting in that scene, and I feel like I'm in that world, and I'm looking around, and I just write what I see. And so writing longhand really helps that, whereas typing feels very mechanical, and it's not a visual experience for me. It's just it's the bit that must be done. Before I write, I love to light a candle. It just gets me in a really nice zone for writing. You know, when I first wrote P.S. I Love You, I was writing that story for myself. It wasn't an attempt to be published or to become, you know, a published author. That was never my goal. And so when I'm writing now, I want to always recreate that moment of it feeling very natural and very at home, and just something that I would be doing for myself. You know, even though there's more expectations now and there's publishers around the world, I still want to write from the kind of honest place that I did at the beginning. And I feel like lighting that candle makes it feel like just a chilled out, natural experience that I'm doing for myself. There is a thread that runs through all of my novels, and that's, we always meet my character when they've hit rock bottom. And because I am so fascinated by the human spirit, I love that no matter how much we think we can't get over something, we do find a strength to be able to get over it. And so I love to, at the beginning of my novels, we always meet a character who's at the lowest point. And I think what I do is I like to catch them and take them from low and bring them high. And that's been the theme of all of my books. I want them to be hopeful. I want them to be uplifting. I want them to be positive. And even though I'm writing about dark themes, I like to bring the balance. If something sad happens, I do like to inject it with some humour. If it's dark, I like to bring it to a place of light. So I do have my voice that never changes, but I want the books to be, I want people to close the book and feel, you know, that good feeling. If I was faced with something terrible in my life, I think I could get through it. I think when I write a novel, I really have to fall in love with the idea of it. I'll know when it's the right time to write when, first of all, I get my idea. Then I have to figure out what kind of character finds himself in that situation. And then as soon as it's really when I hear the voice of the character that I know it's time to write. And it sounds odd, but I will hear their voice, or the first couple of sentences will start running through my head over and over and over again, like a song that you can't get out of your head. And the only way to get it out of my head is to write it down. So that's by kind of only writing about things that I'm almost obsessed by and that won't leave me alone is how I stay passionate about what I'm writing about. It has to be something, you know, you're working on a novel for a year, you know, or more, and it has to be something that can grow, that I can research, that I can kind of fall in love with in a way, and characters that I really understand, and that I feel for. You know, when I write, if I write something sad, I'm at my desk crying, literally crying. If I write something funny, I need to be laughing, and I think I describe myself as a bit of a method writer. So if I can't actually feel what my character is feeling, then the book isn't going to work. And that's the magic of books. I think whatever an author puts in, the reader gets back. There are so many special moments when writing a book. First, there's the adrenaline rush you get when you come up with an idea and realise that it's something new and fresh. That is a real rush. You know, my heart races and it's exciting. There's the beautiful feeling you get when you're writing. I just get lost. I get lost in another world, and it could feel like, I think maybe 5 minutes have gone by and it's been 5 hours. So it's a lovely feeling of escape. And then the greatest feeling, I suppose, is when you finish it. When you finish writing a novel, it's such a relief, but it's also really sad to say goodbye to the characters that I've spent so long with in my head. So I'm always racing to the end because I can't wait to bring my character to where they need to be. I feel like they're on hold. Whenever I stop a sentence, they're on hold waiting for me. So I race it to the end, and then I always cry, like ugly cry at my desk when I finished a book, because it's such a feeling of relief. And then I go on my own and I have a glass of champagne to celebrate. So that's one of the best moments.